Back to you.
Thank you, Rich.
The Chamber of Commerce isn't giving up the healthcare fight.
The business group is launching what it calls an aggressive strategy to blunt the plan, including targeting politicians and taking legal action, promising to spend $50 million to implement their strategy.
Could this effort change the financial equation for healthcare or maybe even the political landscape? We bring in the Bulls and Bears panel, Tobin Smith, Nancy Skinner, Gary B. Smith, and Pat Dorsey. Well, Nancy, we've known from the beginning that the Chamber of Commerce has dug its heels in and said that it would cost a lot of money to a lot of companies. We're seeing some of that play out with companies coming out and saying we have to take big charges because of what it'll cost us. Will $50 million into the pot to fight this do anything on behalf of what the Chamber of Commerce would like to see?
Well, Liz, it's kind of like Tennessee saying they're going to redouble their efforts in the NCAA tournament. They lost to Michigan State. Better luck next time, next year. No, but you know what? You know what's funny about this, Liz? You had a great interview with Greg Babe, the CEO of Bear, earlier today.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and you know what? Look at what did he say? Hey, we're happy. We're getting 30 million new customers. We don't like the tax deduction that we're going to lose. The companies now, their big beef is they're going to lose a tax deduction for tax-free subsidies to their plans. You know what? I would like a shiny new pony as well. You can't have everything. They've got to give on that tax deduction to make it work.
Well, Gary B., bottom line is there is going to be a charge. There's money that they had to pay, whether it was a tax deduction or not. It was money that they were planning to have. They're not going to have it. What are they going to do without it? Pass costs on? Do they have enough cash to pay out of their reserves, or what?
Exactly, and it wasn't like this was some political move. By the laws, the accounting laws, they had to declare as soon as possible what the charges were going to be. So we have one of two scenarios: either they're accurate and it's going to cost them money, or they're lying. And I suppose that's why they're being called on to Capitol Hill to testify. But getting back to your original point, David. You said that, in the intro that there are going to be politicians that are targeted by the Chamber of Commerce. That's the rub right there. That could change the equation. Look, they can spend as much money as possible to change the minds of, the public. But if they focus on specific politicians in districts that are vulnerable, there I think they have a real chance to turn this around.
Pat Dorsey, do you think that's true? Because if the Chamber has $50 million in the kitty to spend on specific elections, can they make a dent, an impact?
Targeted spending can make a big dent. I mean, you think about your average congressional district, it's really not that big. And so, you have some real targeted spending on an issue people are really hot under the collar about. It's certainly possible they could turn the tide in a few races. That said, there's a lot of months between now and November, so I ain't predicting nothing between now and then.
Well, Toby, you've spent a lot of time watching sort of the mix between business and politics. What kind of effect will the Chamber have?
Well, I think it's going to have a lot, but it's going to be more at their constituency, which are smaller business. I mean, if you look at who the members are, and their big beef is the way this plan is set up, it reduces the players already in the small group health care and the individual health care, because it says you can only spend X amount of dollars on marketing, and you have to spend X amount of dollars on taking all sorts of beneficiaries. That is going to kill it, and that is really a move to get towards Medicaid or Medicare for basically another 45 million people. That's what they're going to go against, and I think they have a very good case to scare the bejesus out of the people Pat's talking about.
What do you mean they have a good case? We've just spent a year going over this. What they're going to try to do now is use $50 million, which, Liz, really in terms, they've always been on Republican sides in Canada. It's not a lot of money, and with this new Supreme Court ruling, there's no end to the flood of money that's going to go in and try and buy people. Then what, they're going to buy their own congressmen? Is that what we're saying?
On all sides.
On both sides, Nancy, but remember,
who do the trial lawyers give money to?
Right, but remember that they're representing smaller businesses who paying these $2,000 fines based on what this plan is, and many of the unconstitutional parts, I think, of it. I think they're going to support the thing to kill the whole thing.
I think we're going to talk more about the election before November, so we'll have more to talk about on this subject. Thank you, gang. Well, clearly, the debate over the health care law is not going away anytime soon.
In 3 weeks, Congressman Henry Wack